so sorry. We will make sure that I get this fixed for the next stream. That said, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. We got some balance updates that are coming in for some new champions. We got some things from TELERIA, confirming that they did some oopsies. And we got to talk about Halloween, So that's it. Before we get too far in, let's go ahead and introduce the panel for today. We've got the streamer of the year, Mr. FinalKenpachi. Ken, what is going on, brother? How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me again. It's a little bit late for me because our country stopped switching the time. So I'm sorry, guys, if I looks like a little bit tired. It's like 10 p.m. for me. And I usually sleeping on this time, but hopefully you guys doing well as well.
Yeah, and we appreciate you staying up that little bit extra and spending time with us. Thank you. Next up, we've got the top 100 live arena player, Mr. Gestal Gaming. Gestal, what is going on, brother? How are you?
I'm doing great, Blazin. Had a great week and ready to talk about some raid. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Next up, we've got my favorite late night streamer in that sexy green background over there, Mr. MXPJE. PJ, what is going on, brother?
Doing good. Just been doing some fusion grinding, watched some UFC. Sadly, MLB season's done. Yankees lost. Don't want to talk about that. Yeah, very disappointing.
Wait, they lost to the Dodgers, right?
Yes. Well, they actually lost to themselves. Well, they lost to themselves. But yes, the Dodgers got the W. But yeah, doing great. Happy to be back and talk about raid.
All right. Next up, we've got the gentleman here that decided that he's going to go out and have a real life and not play Raid Shadow Legends out as much. We've got my boy, Mr. JR Star 3. Jay, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, I still play a decent amount.
Don't disrespect JR.
Yeah, it's good to be back, man. I wasn't here last week. I had to finish some account takeover stuff, but we're back here again and ready to talk about all the stuff TELERIA has done. So I'm so excited.
Nice. And last but not least, we got Goose, guys, also known as the Dab Master. What's going on?
Well, I'm not wearing the Goose shirt, so now I look just like a creeper handing out candy to kids to come check out my van. Wait, what? No. Yeah, so I did Goose for Halloween, did the stash. Wife is ready for me to shave it, so it might be time to grow out the winter beard, although it's still ridiculously hot here in Texas. So, but glad to be here, doing some fusion grinding, and then my team lost, the Clemson Tigers. I don't want to talk about it. So,
Really? To who?
Louisville. Oh my God, it was so bad.
I didn't see
They
that.
just came in and spanked us. It's the first time since they joined the league that they've actually beaten us. So we were undefeated against them. So bad.
All right.
Just complete crap the bed.
So let's have a little fun first before we go too far into the stream. Did you guys dress up for Halloween? And if you did, what did you dress up as? Ken.
I mean, we are not really celebration Halloween there, but for the fun, I was wearing like orange hoodie, and one of my viewers keep calling me Kenny, and I just put my hoodie like that and just did like that, and I'm Kenny,
Okay.
Thank you, Kenny, I was talking like.
Okay, I'd like that. I dig that. Chad, how about you guys? Did you guys dress up for Halloween? Did you do anything fun? PJ, what about you?
Twitch streamer. No, I didn't dress up.
Okay.
I'm bad boy.
All right. Jay, what about you? Did you dress up?
As I do like to cosplay, or I do like to try different things. I didn't wear anything this time because it was just busy work through the work week. And we can't really go outside during that time. There's a lot of gang affiliation here. So it's after a certain time of night, there's like a curfew. You can't really be outside. Something could happen.
Okay.
So it's kind of dangerous out here.
All right. And we obviously know that Zero went as Goose.
Yeah, there's pictures in the chat if you want to pull it up.
Oh, yes. Let's see here.
Just so you understand what the mustache was all about. Yeah.
Honestly, when you texted to me, first of all, I was like, who the hell is this guy? And then I looked at her. I was like, oh, she's hot, but who the hell is this? And then it took me a second to realize, I was like, oh, wait, it came from him. Is that really him? Like, I just,
Yeah.
wow.
I was trying to match the hair. Obviously, the movie came out in the 80s. So if Goose had lived in the movie, he probably would have a little bit lighter hair color. That's what I was going with. But yeah, we took this summer we went to the beach and saw the USS Lexington, and my kid fell in love with him. We got hit by a tropical storm. And so we were kind of stuck indoors the next day. So we pulled up and watched Top Gun Maverick and Top Gun. And my 9-year-old daughter, she loved it. So that's what she wanted to do for Halloween. And I was like, cool, I can get by with a t-shirt and a mustache. I'm good with that.
As for myself, I went out as a UPS driver.
Oh, nice.
Original.
I know, right? It's not like I wear that uniform 5 days out of the week. Although I gotta say, in my area, we have there's trick-or-treating for the children, and then there's trick-or-treating for the adults. And I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever tried Fireball with apple cider, oh, it is so good.
Very good.
It was like the first time I tried it, and I was like, okay, I could get hooked on this. So first up, we actually got, how many of you guys knew that we were actually getting this extra slots for the 200 for the reserve vault? Any of you knew, Ken?
I knew that somewhere. They posted earlier.
They said it in the Supreme Club, right?
And yes, somebody on the Supreme Club told me that.
Yeah.
They said it was here.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, we ended up getting the 200 slots, and for free. Honestly,
That's
though,
awesome.
I like it that it was for free, but I feel like I would rather want it in my Master Vault, because can't really put any gear on any of these champions in here, and I really don't want any more food in here. Champ training just completely sucks. But what are your feelings on the 200 slots? Good, bad? Did you need it, Ken?
I was needed too much, man. Like I cannot actually max my slot yet. Like I believe they are going up to the 400, right? I can't do that. It's too expensive, dude. I have like 350 or something like that. And I always complain it. I don't want to eat my champion by literally nothing. And I'm not doing every champion training event. So yeah, that was a massive problem for me.
Oh, apparently I can still buy some more.
You can go to like 600, I think, before they did it.
Okay, so I'm sitting at 590 slots there, 400 in my Master Vault, and 400 on my regular Vault. Gestal, what about you? I know you love champ training.
Yeah, this when I first, I didn't hear about this. I guess I heard about it through the Supreme Club, whatever the heck it's called. I got a couple people that hang out in my chat that brought it up as soon as they came in. But when I first heard it, I thought it would be 100 and 100 extra, like one in the Master Vault, one for the Reserve Vault. So I was a little surprised to see it was the 200 in the Reserve Vault. I guess it makes sense on their end, because then it saves them a little bit on the extra gear, I guess, that would get muled. But yeah, I love it. I need the room, man. I'm like seriously hovering around 400 all the time for pretty much what Kenpachi said, like just not to use food for no reason, and that's basically what it's come to. So this gives you a little extra room there. I definitely like it.
Okay, all right. PJ?
Yeah, I think this is really, really good. I believe they added this when they gave us the trick-or-treat gift, is when we got this in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they didn't tell everyone. I actually made a quick YouTube video. I really don't make YouTube videos, but I made like a couple-minute YouTube video the other day just saying that this was in the game and that we should be giving player props, and when they do something good, they don't tell us, and we can't give them, like, they should have been in the news. Hey, 200 free inventory spot or vault spots. Like, I don't know why they didn't, but yeah, I'm really happy. I think it's good for everyone to get more spots for champ training, just to have, I know a lot of the endgame Krakens whales are running out of spots for their champions. Yeah, I think overall it's great.
Okay. Jay, what about you? Did you need this?
Yeah, because I'm at the point now where I start muling champions chickens or extra dupes. I'll give him gear, right? Just so I can, if I want to use a double champion in Curse City, or if I just need space, I don't want to keep gear cleansing. I've been doing that, so this is gonna help out a lot. Now it sucks you can't really use it in Reserve Vault, right? You can't give those champions, but at least it lets me fill up all the ones in the Master Vault with just tons of gear. I'm about to hit like 30 million PP like for the first time, so it's gonna be nice.
Nice. Zero, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, all of y'all kind of said it, but like they didn't announce it, which is so silly. We were logging in Tuesday night when we were streaming to someone's account, shards. They were letting us pull like their ancient shards, and someone in chat was like, "Oh, did you see that there's extra 200 slots in Reserve Vault?" And I was just like, "Oh no, didn't even know this was a thing." And none of the content creators at that point had even made something. So it's good to see PJ, you threw something out there. But absolutely it was needed. And the one thing I wanted to kind of say too, and y'all might have already done this, but I always just kept my faction guardians filled up as much as possible. And if you max those out right now, it's like 450 slots.
Yeah.
Right. And that includes the rares. And then I think Chad again told me, well, you're not even using that many rare champions. And I was like, oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. So only just recently I cleared up, like I used Bellower, Fellhound, and Cold Hearts, and Kale maybe. And maybe some high elves like Reliquary Trend there. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. We could actually get rid of like 100 champs here in the rare slot, because we don't even use we're not getting a bonus for these champs, so we don't use them or whatnot. But so that helped free up. But prior to that, I was having problems because they're all the time doing champ training, and I hate eating champions to make room to pull shards. And you get in this vicious cycle. It's like, okay, well, I'm holding my shards to summon, and I'm holding my food to do champ training. And if in any time when those events aren't going on and you're messing with your champions in these slots just to free up room, it gets I don't know about y'all, but it's like it's not a FOMO fear, but it's like I'm being wasteful with my resources. I feel like
Yeah.
So having the extra 200 slots, all that being said, fantastic, good job. You should have announced it and given yourself a pat on the back, especially coming 2 weeks off of the Hydra calamity stuff, right? So,
Well, they gave us, they told us some stuff about that too, which we'll dive into in a couple of minutes here. But
yeah, but I'm just saying they should have taken that as a win,
Right, I agree. All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about today is we got some rebalances to two champions in particular. We've got Saoirse, who is, what is it, like the $5,000 champion. If you buy so much crap, you get her,
or 10-year champion,
or 10-year champion for free to play.
Yeah.
Yes. And then King Galkabar, right? So
King Gorak.
Gorak. Sorry. So let's start with Saoirse. So with the rebalance, we aim to refine Saoirse's kit and make her a top tier champion against Hydra. I'm guessing because of all of the Hydra, nonsense that they've got on, this is going to be their main focus. So they're going to, any rebalances they do over the next couple of months are going to be on Hydra. The A1 now has a 100% chance to decrease the duration of a random buff on the target under HP burn. What are we thinking about this? Is this going to make her viable now? Because I believe her A1, if I'm not mistaken, is single target. Demon Spawn, right? Where is she?
No, she's
Sylvan Watcher.
Sylvan Watcher, sorry. Her A1 is attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of an HP burn buff or debuff on the target by 1 turn. So now it's going to have 100% to decrease the duration of any random buff on the target under HP burn. What are we thinking about this A1, Ken?
I mean, do we have to talk all the skills separately, or?
I guess we don't have to, because there is quite a bit here. So
because it's hard to talk without talking about the rest of her skill part.
Okay. Let bring a fair point. Let's go with the A2 will no longer trigger an attack, ensuring reliable HP burn debuffs while bypassing Poison Cloud. was now detected to mean even more HP burns debuffs. And on the A3, we replaced the turn meter reduction with a decreased speed and hex debuff to boost her overall team damage. All right, so let's take a look at the A1 itself, right? I think that's yeah. So attacks one enemy. Each hit has a 30% chance of increasing the duration of any HP burn debuff on the target by 1 turn. Each hit also has a 50% chance of decreasing the duration of any random buff by 1 turn if the target is under an HP burn. Debuff increases it to 100%. The A2 attacks all enemies. It seems like it's now going to be a single target. Or is it just going to be a place? I'm not understanding this too well.
It's going to be place, not attack skill.
Okay.
So she can bypass the poison cloud with that.
Okay.
It's like a Sulfuron HP burn.
Okay, so Sulfuron HP burn, that's actually not that. That's pretty good, actually. 80% chance, books up to 100 to place an HP burn debuff for 2 turns, right? So that definitely... That's going to make her really valuable in some of the teams now, especially because of the rebalance there. And then the A3 Blazing Panic has a 75% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns if the target is under an HP burn debuff. Also has a 75% chance, books up to 100 chance of placing a hex debuff for 2 turns. It's now on a 4 turn cooldown, right? With 1 book. And then the passive, whenever this champion is attacked by an enemy under HP burn debuffs, heals this champion by 25% of the damage received, and heals all allies by 10% of the damage received. Also has a 35% chance of instantly activating any HP burn debuffs on the attacker. I think the only thing she's missing is just a revive, and then Sulfuron is kind of gone, but again...
Alright, so special after they reward the Hydra, guys, special lower difficulty, I noticed that actually very, very strongly, you know. So because you are killing the head and they are getting HP bar, right? And when you hit hard on this HP bar, they respawn again, right? Especially on the lower difficulty, or if you guys have a strong, very, very strong build on your champion, it can be also happen on the nightmare difficulty. They are reborn very, very fast before your cooldown is ready. Like poison, especially head of the poison, coming back with his skill is ready and casting his poison cloud right away. You know, there is nothing you can do. Like you either not gonna deal damage on the Hydra or you are gonna prepare for that, right? And champion like Sulfuron, champion like Mordecai, epic alternative, I guess. Champion like Tumesia, somehow she can also do that. Can place a HP burn debuff enemies under poison cloud because their skill are not attack skill, so it's a place skill. So this is exactly what they are doing with her A2 skill. So she can also place HP burn on them, so you can deal damage even the poison head just reborn. That's the good thing. But it's even further, she also have a hex debuff with the decreased speed debuff, which is this is the 2 debuff you need it on the Hydra, you know. And yep, bring 1 champion, she's gonna do all of them. So she's definitely very strong right now, and if you guys have her, definitely consider to put her in your new Hydra team. And yeah, that's very, very strong, man. Like she's reminds me Archer Girl now. Like, you know, Archer Girl is a decreased speed, provoke, hex debuff. She have a HP burn, decreased speed, hex debuff. Like pretty much all of the stuff. Like too much stuff on the one single champion.
Okay. Let me ask you, which skill are you more excited about to play around with? I know you don't have, or you won't have her for like another, what is it, 15,
HP
20
burn.
years?
HP burn.
Okay, so the A3.
Let's HP burn.
The A2.
A2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. PJ, what are we thinking here, man?
Yeah, very solid. She wasn't like that good before, which I think isn't necessarily a bad thing. We don't want champions like that are pay to win are like super hard to get, free to play, like really OP and strong. So I think she's in like a good state now. She was really weak. Now I think she's not insanely OP, but definitely good. I always said back in the day before this, a decrease speed on her would be really nice, and they gave it to her. The Hex is also I didn't say that, but that's a nice addition. Yeah, it looks like she's gonna be really good for Hydra. The place, like Ken mentioned, is huge, going through the poison cloud, especially if you can get the HP burn on the head that gets the poison cloud up, then you can just kill that head really fast, and then the poison cloud goes away, or you're just hitting it through regardless. The passive is really cool too. Popping the HP burns is nice. You just gotta be careful with the Wrath head, because I think that when he smacks, it would trigger the HP burns to his number to count to go up, and then might hit again. So that could be something to be careful with. But overall, yeah, really liking the changes to her.
Awesome. Hey, shout out to Airfern right there for joining us last week on the stream. But I will say nerfing Gina as a suggestion is a bad idea, brother. Thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate you. Gestal, what are we thinking about her skill kit, man?
Yeah, it's definitely an overall improvement. I did just get her, so I guess I've wailed out enough to get her now.
Well.
I mean, I know people have had her for a long time, so it's not that bad, I
now.
guess.
Yeah.
I mean, like probably 2-3 weeks ago, I just got her. So, yeah. So I don't know. I guess I'll build her up and give her a shot on Hydra. That looks like basically what she was made for, and they obviously allude to that with the poison cloud, which is nice. I think if it's kind of maybe a little too late, because obviously Hex and decreased speed are great, but they were even better on the previous iteration of Hydra. So, some people are saying don't use decreased speed, and that even that Hex isn't as good as it used to be because it pops the decapitated heads quicker. So I don't know. I'm definitely gonna build her and give her a shot at it. Why not? The kit's way better. I mean, this was her A3. This is horrible. Whenever this champ is attacked, no, that was her passive.
Yeah.
Attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15%, decreases the turn meter of enemies under HP debuffs by an extra 15%. That is the lamest A3 I've ever heard in my life. So it's definitely good that they've changed it.
Okay.
Which would have been irrelevant in Hydra, right?
Correct.
Yeah. What are you gonna use that in arena? Like, what the heck? It's the dumbest thing.
By the way, like, if you decrease turn meter of the enemies under HP burn, which means they are not gonna get a turn that fast, and which means they are not gonna take a damage from
it
HP burn
doesn't do
debuff.
proc. Yeah. It's a dumb. That was a bad ability. I don't know. They were like, this is a placeholder. We're definitely gonna be updating this when people start to get her.
Yeah, she's definitely going to be good in, a lot of the Spider comps too, right? For people who don't have Sulfurion, we know that Spider is now the new Silver Farm, but...
Yeah, she was potential for the solo dungeon as well.
Yeah, 100%. Didn't even actually think about soloing, but I think...
Sulfurion can solo Ice Golem art.
Ooh, that's... Well, yeah, but he's... Ooh... Okay, all right, I know what I'm doing after this. Jay, I'm stealing Ken's idea here, guys.
Yeah, I think definitely put her in the right place. Before, I mean, being a 1-4-4 champion with horrible A3 was just, that didn't even synergize with its own kit. It was just a joke. We all thought, we were like, wait, maybe they messed up, but they left it there for like over a year and a half, and I'm just like, bro, when are you gonna buff your own champion that you put your paywall over? You gotta use player points. Like, I'm like, it's crazy. But I'm actually happy she's getting a good buff. This is actually decent, because I thought they were just going to reduce cooldowns a little bit, or maybe even multipliers, make her try to be useful for arena. But But yeah, she seems really good for PvE. I wish they would have changed her base stat, like speed, to like 108 or 110. Maybe people could have actually considered of using her in arena. But yeah, with her being just 100 as a support, it's kind of weird, or debuffer. So she's pretty much going to be a PV, Hydra, and maybe even as we're talking like solo, maybe even Doom Tower bosses solo. So I think it's going to be very interesting. Also, she not only is she a debuffer, but she has a little bit of like baby AoE healing to the support. So that's going to be very interesting to see that. There's only a certain amount of champions that can do that with burns that could heal people, unless you're a mythical or void legendary. You can't really do that as like an epics or legendary. So it's going to be nice to finally use that. Hopefully maybe we get poison champions that can also heal slowly people as well in the future.
Yeah, so she actually has better stats on HP and defense than Sulfurion. I mean, she's got about 10 less speed, but that's not actually going to be a bad idea. I think she's actually going to help out a lot of people in a lot of those areas. Goose.
Goose, yeah. So a couple things with this. First of all, I did see some rumblings in the community about buffing the champion as a pay-to-win champion, but I think we can all admit she was a terrible champion to begin with, and if you got her, it didn't matter. I think I did finally build her out for Sin City because I had some content that she was eligible to be in. And I hate to admit that I am so far through the pay-to-win version of this that I'm about 3,500 points away from getting her 4-star soul.
Ooh.
Which can I just say that why did they not give us a 5-star soul? Because isn't she going to require accuracy? And like the 5-star soul would have given us accuracy, right? So like they give us 5-star souls for all these other champions that are the same or better than her or whatever. You would have thought they would have, kept the pay-to-win streak alive and give us a 5-star soul.
The rewards keep going. I'm not sure if there's a better soul, but there are more rewards.
Oh, after it's all said and done?
After the 3.
Player Points program. You were there. Yeah. Player Points program.
Yeah, they keep going.
But when you get past that last
I'm not
2,500...
sure if they have soul or not.
When you get past that last 2,500. So I'm sitting at like 22... of 25 on that last one. It's kind of sad.
I mean, what they'll just end up doing is they'll give us a Deck of Fate event for her soul, or a path event.
Right.
After you've already gotten everything.
Yeah. So the one thing, just with the Hydra and the new mechanics, like again, I'm kind of waiting on them to adjust the mechanics some. It sounds like that maybe that's on the fence, but I'd be curious, and maybe because y'all are the big brains here, if potentially pairing up a couple HP burners with how fast the heads do explode and come back, and you get the immunity and all that crap going on, like her paired with an Artak or her paired with the Sulfurion, like what does that look like, especially when they're activating? Is it forcing those heals, right?
I think her with Sulfurion is going to be a really good combination.
Yeah, so and then does that do more damage than say max HP? Like I think there's a lot more to be. But it could be interesting. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, it kind of sucks. It takes forever to get her.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, you could also just go in if you really, really want her. I mean, I think it was HWZ that did a video talking about you could just go in and buy the points, I think. Yeah, right here.
Gotcha.
And just get her. I think it's like $500 if you get her this way, which is still kind of crazy. Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
I had a thought and I lost it.
Okay. Well, it's okay.
What's even crazier? You could spend $500 in shards and pull a worse champion.
That is true.
Oh, I know what it was. Rosaria said you're using logic. Plarium doesn't do that. But I want to say, all that being said, kudos to Plarium for constantly buffing these champions that are irrelevant. So again, I think we're only getting 2 every couple months or whatever, but I'd rather see this than nothing at all. Especially if they're not going to nerf some of the stuff that's got the power creep. You got to bring some of these irrelevant champs up. So kudos to Plarium for doing that. That's really what I want to say on this one.
So next up, we got King Garog, who is going to be buffed, and I'm actually kind of excited because I think I have like 4 or 5 on one account with him, so I might be able to automatically +4 him, and looking to mess around with that. But what's he gonna do? Not this one. No,
Hello.
that's a sneak peek of another video that I was planning on doing. Sorry. But the next one we got is King Galberg, and his A1 is now going to attack one enemy 2 times, has a 50% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn. The chance increases to 75% if the target's turn meter is equal to or higher than 50%, and they're going to give him a damage boost. The A2 attacks one enemy 4 times. Each hit will ignore 20% of the target's defense. Each critical hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the cooldown of the A3 by 1 turn. They're going to give him a damage boost on that too. And then the A3 attacks all enemies, will ignore 20% of the target's defense, will ignore a further 5% for each buff on this champion, and it is reduced to a 5-turn cooldown. I do believe he does get a so it comes down to a 5-turn, so it'll be a 4-turn cooldown booked. And then the passive increases this champion's damage, champion speed by 6, stacks up to 30. Crit damage by 7, stacks up to 35%. For each champion killed in a round, will not reset if this champion is killed. Whenever an enemy is revived, fills the champion's turn meter by 30%. For each revived enemy, then places a 50% increased attack buff and a 30% increased crit damage buff on this champion for 1 turn. Sounds like they're just boosting the multipliers, giving him a little bit of ignored defense to try to make him 2024. But Ken, do you have him, and is this going to make you want to build him?
I have him, and it's a deja vu. This is the second time they are buffing him. Previous buff was damage increase, damage increase, damage increase. And the damage increase did nothing. Now they are doing shiny damage increase, and let me tell you something, guys, that also gonna do nothing. That's not king, that's pleb. Pleb Korok. Okay, like Plerium need to understand something about the attack DPS champion on the current meta. If they play this game, they should be know that. But if the attack DPS champion doesn't have some extra stuff, like can be like not getting one shot like a Rotos, right? Like a Wukong keep coming back even they died, or like ignore stone skin, which is he doesn't have ignore stone skin. Ignore something. Ignore defense is not enough because enemies going to be under stone skin. Even ignore stone skin is not that great on this days because reaction accessories is the thing, right? And he can hit really hard. Like I can't be know that before the scene in the action, but guys, end of the day, he's a single target. He can hit hard, sure. What is gonna kill? If he kill my DPS, I will revive. If I kill my sport champion, I will kill him with my DPS. Stuff like that. Like I don't think. I hope I'm wrong, because he's looking pretty badass, right? I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think the change is gonna do anything on him.
Okay. I mean, it kind of sounds like they want to make him work a little bit like Varl does. And we know that Varl can be really good in Hydra over time.
Mm-hmm.
But PJ, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think it's a solid buff. I don't think Plarium ever wanted him to be like meta in arena or like top damage. I think they just want him to be, I guess, better in PvE and I guess maybe usable progressing through arena. But the A1 getting a better chance to stun is nice. The other moves, I forgot exactly what they're, now that you took it off the screen. But,
Sorry.
no, you're good. The ignore defense is going to be big. And then the A3 making it so it's buffs on him versus like buffs on the enemies is huge because you can control the buffs on yourself. It's kind of hard to control the buffs on the enemies. So that's a huge buff. Like that a lot. The cooldown reduces nice. And then increases champion speed. Will not reset. Yeah, so then if they don't die, so it looks like, you know, like you mentioned in Hydra, it could be nice. Will not reset if this champion is killed is really nice, because usually, if people don't know, like Ninja or anyone that stacks up, if they die, I'm pretty sure they all reset. So this being,
I
or
don't.
even
I don't think Ninja resets.
not Ninja.
I don't
Okay.
think he does, because he still does. I mean, granted, when I've used him
Do
in
the other
Hydra
ones?
Clan Boss, I don't
Damage
think
increase,
so.
you mean?
Yeah.
The
Harima
so
damage
this-
increase
so this
got
is-
reduction after she got eaten. And you
Okay.
save her.
okay.
Okay.
But I'm
So
not
then
sure
this-
about them.
Okay, so then this is good then. If because I say if the other ones don't, then this is just this is useless. But if the other ones do, then this is solid. So yeah, overall I think it's good for PVE. Like I said, I don't think he was ever there in their minds going to be running arena, but I think solid for PVE damage dealer.
Okay. Gestal, you gonna build him?
Actually, I don't have him. I've never
What?
pulled this dude, so yeah, believe it or not. There's about 4 or 5 champs I don't have. He's one of them.
4 or 5.
Stalt, yeah.
In-
Well, not mythicals, obviously, but of
Damn.
Legos, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so no Gorog. What I like about he's definitely, this doesn't make him meta. He's not going to be taking over live arena or anything. What I like about this though is, like, say you're a new account, let's say you're even like a year deep and you pull him. Now he's actually good. Before he was garbage. Now he might be good on your account. You might be able to bring him into a couple different places. So I think they need to do this to a lot of champions that are just like immediately put in the vault, even if you're, let's say it's your 3rd or 4th Lego. Like, they need to bump up a lot of those guys, at least to be good enough to use at any point, at like an early to midpoint game. So I think it's good they're doing this.
Okay. All right. Jay, you gonna build him?
So I already did way back when he first came out, but he was a princess, right? Everyone called him Princess Garog because it just wasn't good. The damage wasn't the damage wasn't good. And then they buffed him the first time, and he just became Garog, right? He wasn't nowhere near king status. He was just okay, you know, just you can do some damage, but he's nothing special for arena or even PvE. He's just another faction war, help you out maybe in Cursed City, but now with these, this look a little bit better. The only downside I don't like about it is his A3. I get it, the whole synergy of A2 and A3, but if A2 is not 100%, man, that's a 5-turn A3. That's a long time. So if you're not bringing resets like Emic, Yumeko, Kaimar, Night Queen, Crixie, if you're not bringing things like that, you're not going to be able to do too much crazy stuff. Now, it will hit pretty hard because you, like MXPJ said, before it was the enemy's buffs, but now you can control how many buffs you put on your team. So that's good for PvP and PvE. So I do like these buffs. I like the passive though, where it's like anyone who gets revived, they could just Duchess or they could like Marishka bring a whole team back. He's like, oh, cool, thanks. Now I'm just gonna A3 and kill everybody again. So as long as you didn't use your A3 the first time and then kill them all and then they get revived, you're okay. That's the only thing. I wish they would just drop that A3 by 1 turn, just 1. But you know, I guess they don't want it. It's such a, maybe it hits way too hard. I don't know. I haven't tested the multipliers yet, but yeah, I'm already have him, so I'm gonna build him out when he gets buffed.
Okay. Goose.
Yeah, so funny. You still call me Goose. Yeah, so we got so many champions to build, or I feel like I'm in the place where, like, will I ever build this champion out? But what I will say is, I built when I first got my Feral, because the passive in Feral, the more buffs you have increases. If you have 4 more buffs, you increase damage by 20%. And so, and I only had a 3-star soul on my Taras. So I built like a Python, Marishka, Feral, Taras team. And it's insane how much more damage with Feral's passive and the 6 buffs on everybody that Taras, because he ramps up with the buffs on him too. So I'd be curious to see, with all the extra ignoring the defense and the bonus 20% that Feral could potentially bring to that fight, what this would do in arena. I do think the cooldown would be kind of gross, and I feel like there's a lot of gimmicks, like Marishka and stuff that can respawn after death and things like that. So I don't know where that would. It'd be curious to see what after the damage buff, to see how hard this smacks, and then doing like the furl combo with a bunch of buffers, and like maybe this dude smacking for 3, 4, 500,000, and it just wipes people off the map. I don't know. So I think I can get Taras up to between 300 and 400 now that I have his 4-star extra crit damage soul. So I'd be curious, and then I think, like you said, if they revive back, then you get this extra buff to his crit damage and speed and all that stuff. Like he has the potential now to get silly, but you know, there's so much meta champions. Is this guy getting silly even worth building? I don't know.
Always worth getting silly.
Yeah. You know, where this really excites me is I want to see what he's going to do on Clan Boss. Because this is going to be a quad hitter. There's a lot of ignored defense, and building up the passive over time. I think, you know, because the passive for the increased speed isn't really going to, you know, kill us too much, because he's not killing anyone. So, and then, well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, even with the passive, he's still not going to do much because it's got to be a lot of killing and reviving. So maybe not. Maybe just A2, A3, and A1 are going to be good enough for him in Clan Boss, but we'll try him out.
Well, and just one thing that you said too just sparked something in my mind too, because don't forget about the area bonuses too, right? So Cursed City and Hydra. So you already have a baked in 20% ignored defense. Can this guy ramp up to get to true damage? And if that's the case, don't him in Hydra with the ignore 20% defense plus all the stuff he's bringing. You
Savage, Helm Smash it.
True
Yeah.
damage with this guy. Yeah, it could get insane. So
Silly.
This guy may be better than he looks on paper, and we just don't know it, right?
No, that's definitely a good. I think PJ was the one that I had a conversation with a while ago, telling me that it might not even be worth bringing decreased defense into Hydra anymore because so many of these champions are ignoring defense. So between that, Savage, and the built-in bonuses you're getting, it's not really. It might not be worth it to even bring it in there.
On the lower difficulties.
Yeah. So
Possibly.
Maybe we'll have to do some testing. Real quick, let me ask you guys, since Plarium is doing all these buffs or rebalances to these champions, who should be the next one they do it to? Ken.
Hold on. I have to think the champion I have. Blind Seer, actually. Man, she's so
Blind
garbage.
Seer.
And she's void Lego, man. Like, yeah, like, I got her long ago and still waiting, man. Like, it just come to my mind. I don't know. Void Lego, you know?
I mean, I used Blind Seer a while ago for Clan Boss, not on this account, I think. But I used her for Clan Boss, and like her block debuffs or block damage revive was actually pretty solid. It helped me get to like a 2 key.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but she's void Lego, man.
Yeah, true. She does need to come up to 2024. All right, PJ, what about you? Who should be buffed next?
One that like immediately comes to mind, which would be a super easy buff, would be Suzerain Kirtan, and just his A2 make it 100% decreased defense and weaken.
Suzerain?
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, he's
Okay. Where is he?
middle screen. Yeah.
Right
His
there.
A2. Okay, yeah. I think because he's the only decreased defense champion in the faction as well too, other than like Rhodos on the A1, right?
Yeah.
Vlad does
So
Vlad?
he's-
Yeah,
Vlad
Vlad has
David.
it too.
He's decent in Hydra, but if he was like more consistent with that, then he could be even better.
Okay, all right. Chat, what about you guys? Who do you want to see buffed next? I mean, he does look kind of cool too. Like you can see in his stomach and everything, so it's definitely deserving a buff. Gestal, arena wise, what would you like to see a champion buffed? Which one?
Yeah, this might may or may not be controversial. I think Hegemon needs to
Okay.
ignore Stone Skin.
I agree with that one. Hegemon.
Give him that, because you can't run him, man. Unless you can guarantee you're going against a non-Stone Skin team, you can't run him.
Yeah. I've seen him a little bit. I think, who was it? Curzon used him in his Corrupted Challenge, which, by the way, we're going to make an announcement on that real quick after we finish this conversation. But he kind of got in there, and he messed up on like Gold 4 top end. He was using him. Seemed kind of fun.
By the way, Crash said in the chat, Turanda need a buff.
You guys are going to be surprised at my champion. Jay, what about you, man? Who would you want to see a buff on?
Damn, that's a good, because I like Susan Katana as well. I think he's been, we got, technically he got a little bit of a adjustment before, but it wasn't enough of a buff. Blind Seer is another one. We've been waiting for her for a long time. I guess it's a personal one, because I use Kaja and Timid. I think Timid's A3 should be a 3-turn cooldown. You know what I'm saying? That's the only one I can say that I think he would need a buff. No one ever uses him. I'm technically got one of the best highest accuracies in all of Raid, right? And you never really see him. I mean, you might see him maybe like Biohack or maybe one other person use him, but no one uses him in Arena. And most people are using Kaja, so why not just buff him so you can get the duo together, But that's just a personal take,
Okay. Goose.
Who deserves a buff? Gosh, I don't even know. They just need to keep, like the ones that you just don't touch.
Armand's.
Armand's needs a nerf. Can we talk about that? Yeah, I don't. Maybe here, I'll throw one out there for you. What maybe like Oltan of the Shell, who is a pair to he's a pair to Oella. Oella's halfway
Barbarian. Okay.
Oltan.
It's a Dark Elf.
Dark Elf. Yeah, I'm sorry, he's a Dark Elf. Dark Elf.
Yeah, right there.
You're talking Ultan, right?
Ultan of the
Ultan
Shell.
or the Altan?
No, Ultan of the Shell.
Of the Shell. This dude.
Okay.
Compares with Oella, but like he's just a terrible champion. I don't know why you would have like Oella's at least halfway decent. Again, she's kind of niche in what she's bringing to the table. Like obviously, if you need a support, like she's got support on lock, right? But like she's kind of niche too. But like I don't think anybody has ever paired these two together, and it's just because he doesn't. I don't know. He's just not that good. Championship. Maybe I'm just throwing it out there since they're we got the fusion right now. We got Hansel and Gretel. They give us Ultan and Jetney, and I think they probably need buffs too. Timon and Kaja, but like Ultan is just like, who cares if he's even in the game, in my opinion. So maybe him.
I wonder if he's ever been used in Arena at all.
Probably not. Nope.
I don't think so. Ken, check Discord.
One thing that I just realized too, not to go back to old King Dookie Brains, or what's his name, King Garrod, but I just pulled the Faction Unity champion for the Orcs, and read his passive, Argaz, all the way on the left right there. Yeah, click his passive.
Allies with 50% less HP receive
the 3 faction allies. So I think it was JR Star. Didn't you say something about getting to go again and reduce that cooldown? I just realized like, if he could smack someone with his A2 and then this dude's passive lets him go again, that could get to be a disgusting little combo.
Yeah, I think people are they're using that passive with what's his name, Nogdar, right? Because he comes back.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's
so. I don't know. I just had that thought. Anyway.
Okay. And actually, Jiren beat me to what I wanted, but I think Rosin, one of the OGs, needs a buff.
Oh yeah.
Take his cooldown, man, on the A3.
Yeah, the A3 cooldown's insane.
6 turns. Like, he definitely needs a buff.
Gross.
Like, he's somebody that's really strong early game, brings in, decreased defense and weaken granted at single target. The A3 can hit pretty hard. And I know that they changed a little bit on his, well, it wasn't a buff to him, but it was more of his AI, so he'd stop using it on Clan Boss. But definitely needs something here to make him a little better,
What would you think would be acceptable to what cooldown to drop it down to?
For the A3?
Yeah.
decreasing 100% turn meter, at least a 4 turn with a 1 book.
Wait, why 4 turn?
Why 4 turns?
Armas can do that every 2 turn, and he can also stun the enemies. I mean-
because he can nuke. He can nuke. If he got a little bit more of a damage boost.
You need a
Right.
Cruiser for that though. You cannot make him pure nuke though.
Dude,
Armas
true.
can also nuke by the way. He's hitting very hard.
No, it's
I
true.
mean,
It's
I
true.
can check that multiplier. Like I make
No, it's,
sure.
no, it's true. Rosin's A3 is a high multiplier. It's like sick, like 5. It's really high for a defensive champion, like 4.
Yeah.
But I see what FinalKenpachi is saying. He's like, well, Armon's basically steals turn meter, stuns as well. Like, why should Rosin be a 4, which is like 2023? We're already about to be in 2025. Why not just make it a 3 turn?
Well, I
guess,
would
yeah.
say a 4 with a 1 book cooldown to 3.
By the way, I just checked the multiplier. Ryzen A34, Arman's A2 is 4.2.
Poor Armand's, man. He is receiving
Nerf
a
him.
lot of.
Piece
listen.
Merciless and Armon's.
Oh, are we gonna talk about the base stat as well? By the way, 91 base
Yeah, I
speed.
mentioned
Are we
that.
gonna talk about
Yeah,
Armas?
that's
buff the base,
sweet.
Yeah, he definitely needs some love here, and I think Plarium should go and take care of this guy because he's one of the first legendaries you can get on your account. He's pretty free to play achievable, right? Because I think most of the champions you need to get are farmable. I don't know if I still have. Yeah, I've already fused them on my account, so he's not there. But I definitely feel like he's got to get some love. He's got to get some love.
I have an honorable mention.
What you got?
Okay, so Ray's A1 is attacks on enemy, 50% chance of decreasing defense for 2 turns. Androx A1 in his second form is pretty much the same exact move, but it's a 1 turn decreased defense. Like, please, he's a mythical.
Yeah,
Like-
but come on.
It's the same move. It's pretty much the same exact move. Like, how? Like 1 turn decreased defense. She's a legendary.
Yeah, but it's a 50% chance.
Yeah, so is Androx.
I mean,
Look at
she's not really used anywhere though. I mean, maybe as a campaign farmer.
Yeah, but how does she
Endrock
have
too. I mean, like, where are you gonna use the Endrock? Just
I
to
use
put
Androx
60, right, for the Hydra.
I use him
Yeah,
in
and-
Hydra.
Yeah,
I
but
use
you're
him in
not,
more
you're,
than
not,
that.
you're not gonna use her in Hydra though.
I use him. Right, but why does Androck get screwed on his A1 and have a 1 turn?
Well, because he costs thousands of dollars to receive.
Second form.
Second form. Oops.
That makes what are you talking about? That makes no sense.
I mean, his multiplier's got to be a lot higher than hers is on the A1, and he also has the weaken and the decreased resistance and feeble, which you don't really
Yeah.
use there. And he also brings up a lot of debuffs.
We're talking
So-
about the A1. What?
Yeah, I get you, but I'm looking at the overall skill of the champion, like the overall, champion itself, the kit.
Why shouldn't it be a 2 turn?
I
mean, it's not even attack an enemy, actually. It's just attack one enemy.
It's attack one enemy, but it has
I
a
guess
chance of
that's
putting in
true.
all enemies.
all right.
my bad.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It maybe should be.
Because
a
what
2 turn.
happens is that I will get it on a Hydra head, and it'll right before they take a turn. So I get the decreased defense at the very end. They take a turn, and it's gone.
You're right.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Fair point. All right, so Raid Digest this week was a little interesting, and we gotta talk a little bit about that. Big shout out to Rosaria for making this, and if you guys haven't already, if you join the Discord, he makes this way easier for us to read, so feel free, join the Discord and look at the announcements tab every 2 weeks where he posts this. But Plarium came out and said, we want to preserve the concept of Hydra, and it should be able to take turns and perform an attempt to either kill or devour a champion. This is a fundamental principle of the Hydra game mode. Expose next HP increase is higher with each additional Devour. That I've been finding for myself not to be a problem on my main account, but as I started doing Hydra on some of the less pay to win accounts, it has been a huge pain in the rear end. A stronger serpent's will are designed to allow the Hydra to continue acting according to the principle, to take turns and to increase the likelihood of a Devourer player's champion. All right, so this is kind of one of the things that I want to talk about here. The Devourer. How much of a pain has it been for you over the last 2 weeks, Ken?
You mean like Devour? Like what do you mean?
Like how difficult has it been for you to deal with the Devourer?
Devour, like when they eat us, right?
Sorry, not
No,
the
when we
Devourer,
kill them.
the Serpent Will. The Serpent Will. Sorry.
Oh, bro, like the real problem with to be honest, Serpent Will is not a problem. The problem is we kill them and we deal damage on them and they reborn again. Otherwise, like before Serpent Will was blocking 75% damage, right? It's still very huge to be honest, 75% damage. Like I almost like not gonna deal damage on them, but biggest problem, like I just mentioned, we force them to reborn again, and because all of them is 100% damage reduction now, it's so stupid. And I actually like run my Hydra team last week, like Friday I believe, and literally 2 minutes in the game on the hard difficulty, like literally 2 minutes. I killed all the heads, they all reborn with the Serpent Will buff. Bro, if the Pilarium test that, they should be see that, man.
Right.
Don't tell me they are testing this stuff, bro. Come on, man. Like
Great-
literally it took me 2 minutes to notice that, you know?
It's a great example right here. This happened in my run last night 4 times, where I killed the heads all at the same time, and they all respawned within like a couple of turns of themselves. And I got this Serpent's Will buff on every single one. It
Again,
is,
look, this is not Serpent Will problem. This is the like they need to get rid of this, you know, like when we kill them, they need to stay dead, bro. Dealing damage on them should be reborn them, you know, like it's so stupid.
right. Gestal, what about you? Are you finding this difficult with the Serpent's Will?
Yeah, I think I complained about this last week. This was the dumbest thing they did. For this exact reason, this happened to me, like Kenpachi said, almost immediately into my first run on it. It obviously shows that they didn't test it at all. It was probably all in theory, figuring that they shouldn't come back that quickly. I don't know, but I'm with Kenpachi as well. I think they should not have added the health pool or whatever, the ability to kill the deadheads. If that makes sense. Like they should have just stayed to their turn meter and the way it was before. I think that change alone will probably and I believe they should do, and I think I said this last week, it should just be every other head that revives, when it revives, should have if they want it to be 100%, that should be at 100%. Maybe make it 90%. I don't know, 80%. I think it used to be 75, so maybe they could up it a little bit.
So I will kind of disagree with you on the decapitated heads having the HP pool, because they have actually adding that, even though it is definitely a damage reduction for most nukers, has seemed to give enemy max HP hitters such as Marius and Wallmaster or Crizia a little bit of a boost towards the damage, made them a little more, because before it was just kind of capped. They could not hit for more than, between 300 to 500. Now, Marius on the A3 on a decapitated head of Suffering. No, is it? Which one is the really slow one? I forget.
Suffering, yeah.
Suffering is hitting for 1 million on each A3 for each hit. So I feel like. Go ahead.
I gotta compromise. Revert the heads and then just raise the cap that they can hit.
Okay. I think.
Can I say
Yeah,
something?
either way, yeah.
Can I say
And
something?
Go ahead, Ken.
Gestal, you wanna continue? Continue, please. I can continue later.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I was just yeah, and I'm all for them making more champs viable in here. So like, I guess it's a good thing in that stance. I just like they could still give. Yeah, I don't think that's the fix for enemy max HP champs. I guess as to kind of what PJ said, like you could just like the cap is too low for enemy max HP champs. It should be more.
I feel like really though, because we have a lot of champions, like most of the people now that are getting Wallmaster, or not Wallmaster, sorry, Marius, that's a 30% hit on the heads, because each one you can only decrease, you can only hit them for 10%, so that's a 30%. So if they did it, if they increase the cap, right, let's say to 15%, that's 45% of their HP pool that you're going to be able to take down. I think that just might be a little too much. Maybe I'm wrong, but chat, let us know. Would you want to see the enemy max HP cap raised on the on multi-hitter champions? Ken, go ahead.
Sorry, guys. The example you give in Nightmare difficulty can work. Because Nightmare difficulty already have a high HP, right? Like Marius, even they are not dead, he can still hit them hard, right? Because they have a high HP. But if you thinking to use the Marius on the hard difficulty or stuff like that, like it's definitely going to be useless. Or the any max HP champion, I'm talking about like end game perspective, because they already have a low HP. Like giving their low HP double the amount of it is not going to do any difference. And on the Nightmare difficulty, the problem I mentioned is also not that huge, because they have a very big HP. You know, when you kill them, the HP they are getting is not that easy to one-shot them, you know? Like on the Nightmare difficulty, I am using my big DPS champion, right? After I killed them, I attack them again, they are not reborn. They are keeping on the ground like couple of turns, you know? But on the hard difficulty, I kill them, I'm just using Thor A2 skill, boom, they are reborn again. It's because their HP is very low, and when you deal like small amount of the damage, it causes them to reborn already, which all of their skill is ready and all of your skill on the cooldown. That's very big difference between Nightmare and hard difficulty or the any lower.
True, valid point. Jay, what about you? Are you finding the Serpent's Will buff to be even more challenging for you now?
No, it's not really challenging. I've started basically like 6-7 months ago. I was full autoing. Even though I don't do Nightmare all the time, I only do it certain times. I basically only just do normal to brutal, full auto, because Hydra, like I just after a while I was just like, I'm not gonna keep worrying about it. I just do it, right? And yeah, I just run it. And yes, I've seen my numbers go down, and but I don't stress it because it's going full auto. I don't have to sit there. Have I seen the Serpent's Will come up multiple times? And I take snapshots. People in my Discord show me snapshots. Like I have one person who literally had to run their run 4 times just to finish one key, and they're like, bro, I wasn't doing this before, Jay. Why am I playing this game? And I'm just, I don't want to sit there and be like, oh, player will be better, like I'm gonna be honest with them. I tell them like, yo, they messed up, and they mess up all the time, and they have to own it, and they this is a situation where they tried to what happened like in other video games like World of Warcraft, that people QQ, people want things to be better, company tries to make it better, but what they're doing is just actually catering to one particular people of the player base when actually the majority couldn't even do that anyways. And now you've kept like 60% of your community and only helped out the 30-40 when actually the most important people are here. If you want people to stay. And now people are quitting. Bro, there's hashtag like raid, F raid now. People are quitting high drive, people not even wanting to do it, or even live arena. This is supposed to be the year of PvP, not the year of Hydra. So this should have been fixed a long time ago. Why are we still like, it's kind of crazy. But for me personally, I see it, but I don't cry about it. I don't go like, oh man, no, because it's all full auto anyways. Like my same teams are working. I just slightly adjusted little things here and there. That's it. I've been putting more work into my live arena teams, but you wouldn't believe how many people have DM'd me saying like, bro, I don't want to play raid no more. It's crazy.
I feel like autoing has gotten a nerf. Like you are not gonna get good damage if you auto. You have to manual. And it's kind of funny because I've been hanging out in Discord with Bronco, and you know, every time I'm in there, he's like, Blazin, where's your Trunda team? Where's your Trunda team? I'm like, it's inexistent, bro, because I'm not gonna manual that shit. I look for full auto teams just like you and just try to increase the damage as much as possible. Like, I don't want to sit there and manual because it's just very tedious for me, at least, or at least I just don't like it. PJ, what are your thoughts with the Serpent's Will? Is this becoming a problem for you?
Yeah, so I don't think, like you guys mentioned, I feel like the bigger issue if we're talking about damage overall is coming from the heads having a health pool and not necessarily the Serpent's Will. I'm a big hider enjoyer. I've been messing around, trying things out. This past week I got 950 million on Nightmare. No Trunda in that team. And
Auto or manual?
I would say 70% auto, 30% manual.
Okay.
So like depending on the situation, but yeah, it's really, so I feel like people forget. So back in the day or before the rebalance, every time they respawn, they had 75% Serpent's Will. And unless you had crazy good damage, crazy teams, unless you're like using Trunda, you're not really going to be doing much damage into those heads. You're not hitting those heads on purpose. Like, you might get a little bit. But the way they have it now, if you can, now it's skill. Like, this is like strategy, but if you can get the heads to pop two at the same time, one comes back being able to hit right away, and that's immediate damage, whereas before that wasn't a thing. Now the way that it's set up is kind of weird, like the programming, like sometimes it will like bring up a head that's like half turn meter, like not ready to be brought up. So I feel like maybe on the back end they could fix a few things, but I like I mentioned in this in the past, if they only had two at a time having Serpent's Will, that could, and they're gonna leave the decapitated heads having the health pool. If they only had two Serpent's Will at a time, I think that would be a big thing for people to just start having to do immediate damage right away. But yeah, I don't think that Serpent's Will is the biggest issue, but it definitely can be annoying if you have all four come up and you can't do any damage. Like, that is super frustrating. I have had it happen to me a couple times in a run, and it really sucks. But there are ways of getting around it, where before, if you killed all the heads at the same time, obviously it was probably less likely the way that was happening, but you would have all four Serpents will come up then as well.
Okay. PJ's coming in with the voice of reason. You know, it was a 75% damage reduction before, so you weren't able to get a lot of damage. So making it 100% isn't really a problem. Fair point,
If you had
PJ.
Hex on there, though, the Hex was huge on that, though. You get a lot of extra damage with Hex, even
True.
if they had the Serpent's Will, and that made a big difference in the runs.
That's
back
true.
then, but...
Zero. Sorry, my bad. Goose. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, so y'all have all had awesome points, and I do want to just state, I know there's a lot of people that are frustrated with the game, but it's still, like, they need to do a lot of work, obviously, to fix what they broke. But keep in mind, this is to fix, you know, one person out damaging an entire clan of 30 people, right? So they did at least, they nerfed everybody, but they at least got rid of that massive thing. So I feel that, I think, like, a simple if statement, like, because again, putting my programming hat on, like, I know they probably designed it when they all spawn at the same time, but obviously they spawn not at the exact same time, and that's what they probably didn't account for. But you would think they could just write a simple statement as, hey, if the other heads are up and the Serpent's Will's up, and three of them have it, then this person will not have it. You would think they could code that in. I think the bigger issue, and where this is impacting me more, is when I am running those auto teams, that when I have a dead head and a head with Serpent's Will, for whatever reason, I have certain champs that'll target the strong head.
Yep.
I think that's a much bigger issue with the coding than preventing it from having four. Like, obviously it happens all the time, right? You get the four heads up, but that one turn gets done and you start doing damage again. That's an issue. It sucked. But I think the bigger issue is when you have a dead head and a head with Serpent's Will on it, and you have Lady Marishka doing your ally attack on the one with Serpent's Will. Like, what the hell is going on with that? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever from a coding perspective. And yeah, I'm about 80-90% auto too, because I'm kind of like Jay. I'm like, I don't want to sit here and deal with this. And I get what I get, right?
I gotta ask you real quick.
That's a bigger issue.
Lady Marishka, which faction is she? Because I haven't pulled her yet.
Oh, Lady Mikagi. Sorry. Marishka, Mikagi.
No, I get that.
Yeah, she's the one that ally attacked. And I watched that. That actually happened to me this week. And I was, because I will sometimes with that team have to click the dead head just to make sure that the AI, and I didn't click it fast enough. And it targeted one with Serpent's Will. And I'm like, really? You just blew an ally attack on something that could take 0 damage? That makes no sense.
Yep, nope, I agree. But they acknowledge that it's a problem, and their game developers are looking at some way to mitigate it. Again, I think if there's, a respawn, let's say the head of the K had it this rotation or this turn, next time it spawns, it doesn't get it, kind of cycle it that way. I think that's going to be fair. It gives it still that RNG that they want. And, as long as it's not every single one of them has it every single turn, and then maybe just kind of code it that no more than 2 heads at a time can have it if all 4 are spawning back at the same time. We do have
the other thing that's annoying is they'll spawn back like a millisecond after each other.
Yeah.
But they'll count it as like 2 separate. So
yeah.
Just count that as like the same.
Right. Yep.
So
that actually did happen in my run. That was most of the time stuff that was going on. I was like, oh, it spawned, cool, the next one spawns, but it's not in the same turn order, so I was getting both of them on there, which was very, very annoying.
Hey, let me ask a question real fast. So it was 75% before, and now it's 100%, obviously, with Serpent's Will. Would y'all be okay if they fixed it where like all 4 could get it still, but they maybe put it to 90%, so like you can still do 10% damage to it, at least a little something if all 4 have it?
For myself,
90%
no.
and 100% is like the same thing to me.
Yeah, it's I mean, again, to PJ's point earlier, I never really noticed it. But now it hurts more because we lost 500 turns, right? We lost the extra little damage that we were able to put in on the decapitated heads. So now we're scrounging to try to get as much damage as possible. So now now it's become a bigger issue for us because of that. So I don't think bringing it down to like 90% would be even. I wouldn't go for it. I don't know, PJ.
Yeah, I think it's 100%, 90% is pretty much like I think the same thing. Maybe if they gave like if you could put hex on them and you could do hex damage, something like that. Even though it's like just a little bit, I don't know. But yeah, 90% to 100% I feel like is pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
Or so, like maybe HP burn goes through Serpent's Will or something. Like,
that could be good.
Right? Like it
and
just buffs
50%
Searsha.
damage or something. Like I don't know if you could do 100% with HP burn.
Yeah.
HP burn doesn't deal in too much damage on Hydra. It's just there for the poison cloud, to be honest.
True.
Like my Sufrion, I build him like a 4-piece reflex, 2-piece impulse, and a 3-piece reflex. So pretty much every turn he got every time he got a turn, he using his HP burn and instantly activated. Like before they reworked the Hydra on my Nightmare team, I was like turn limit, by the way, 1,500 turn. His damage was like 70 million. That's all.
Yeah. I don't think that would be the fix to that. We do have a question here for Ken. Buffing Magnar. Would that be something you want to support?
Oh man, I've been using Magnar. Actually, he's on my PB, on my plat push team. Like before they released the Taras Marisha, I've been using Magnar on my plat push, and I did like 60 with him.
So
Yeah,
that's
$14 and 60 plus 60, dude.
so.
He's, to be honest, I don't think he needs a buff, dude. He can hit really hard, dude.
I
bad
haven't
thing is
seen
Stone
any
Skin
plus
meta.
4s. Yeah, the Stone Skin does kind of hurt.
By the way, I'm talking about like way before Taras Maricha released it. Like It's after they release a blessing system, which is I was like have like 3-star I believe, and Empower of course, Empower gonna be massive on him.
Yeah.
Like I think +4 Magnar can hit really hard, guys. Like seriously, his multi is crazy. He's double hitter too.
That is.
The
Yep.
thing is, I believe if the target under HP burn, he's places stun debuff on them, I think, right? Which is the current meta. Only way to use him is bring an HP burn and the melt an enemy stone skin. But if I am not mistaken, that's gonna be bad.
Well, you could just
I
be
think-
like Gestal and bringing a Gizmac against everybody.
Playing
I mean,
Easy.
I will say the account that was given to me has a Gizmac on it, and yeah, you're totally right, man. That and Siegfried together, it's like there's no one standing a chance.
especially after the pinpoint set.
Yeah.
Although if you guys ever watch my videos or when I'm playing live arena, so let's say I have 1 turn pinpoint on or 1 turn intercept on him. I'll go into a two team or a team that has 2, let's just say 6-star poly, just to keep it even. So in order for me to hit, you have basically a 1 in 25% chance, or a 1 in 25 chance for that to land. For him to proc twice on both of them, right? A 20% on the first proc, a 20% on the second proc to get sheets. It happens all the time. It happens 3 or 4 times a stream. There is no way that his initial passive is coded properly. There's
You did
no way.
a 9-piece, I believe, right? For him, 9-piece pinpoint. So it can
If
give
I
you
had a good
4
enough
turn.
9, I mean, I would. I'm just saying though, 1 in 25, man. I could see that happening maybe 2-3 times a week, not 2.
I mean,
3
every
times
time he got a turn, he
stream.
plays HP burn. That's why it's trigger multiple times.
Well, it is every time, but it's still you only have the chance to hit once, right? Once per champ each round. I mean, I guess it's only 1 debuff going.
Well,
But
it's not per round. It's that like you can proc
per
multiple
attack.
times.
Per
Yeah,
attack. Yeah,
Yeah.
per attack. That's
per
what I meant,
turn.
sorry.
Per turn.
Yeah, per turn. Yeah. So I don't know. Whatever. It happens more than you would expect. It's outrageous, actually. In fact, there's Entropy. I don't know if he's out here right now, but dude's like math genius, and he agrees with me, man. There's no way it should proc that much. Just saying.
Someone says skill issue, by the way.
Skill issue. Well, we'll definitely factor that in for sure.
Yeah.
It's just saying I don't think it's coded properly. I'll throw it out there. Plarium, if you're listening, check it because there's absolutely no way it's coded properly.
All right, so they're talking about Hydra team diversity according to our analytical data over the last 2 weeks, because that's how long it's been done. That took the place of the past 2 Hydra clashes. We hope that one of the to leave the day when one of the players could find and defeat an entire clan behind us. So they're basically saying that Trunda comps are, still not reigning supreme. I beg to differ here. Yeah, they're not destroying the whole clan, but where is it? There was one guy here who did right here 800 million with the Trunda composition, right? We've got another one here that did 500. I swore I saw one that had like 1.6 billion before the multiplier, and I was like, what the hell? But are you guys finding people using in your Hydra clashes different teams now? Or is it still just the Trunda comps? Are people still sticking to their same comps? Ken?
I mean, I'm not really working on my clash. I'm not really looking, to be honest. There is somebody else is doing that for us, thankfully. But from what I see, I'm getting some pictures from people. Hey, bro, look, Trunda's still doing that. Trunda's still doing that. And Pillar made the announcement twice. They said if the Trunda team still far beyond any other comp, they will consider to rework her again. They did say that twice. Obviously, it's hard to believe everything Pilarium said these days, because they also said like Trunda teams are okay, because hard to build them, stuff like that back in the day.
Right here. That's the team. did 1.7 billion on Nightmare.
Yeah, that's very strong numbers with the after the reward, to be honest. But I don't know, guys. To be honest, it's too early to talk about it. But there is a one funny thing about their announcement. Like they are looking the analytic, right?
Yeah.
Bro, why didn't you test it? Why we are beta testing this thing? Also, where is the analytic that showed the armas? Like I like to see this analytic data about the armas. Like I really want it. Like
that's an interesting. I feel like their analytics to them are like gold or Pentagon files. There we go. It's like the Pentagon files where unless you're like the CEO and like the board of the chair, you're not gonna see any access to it.
Can I challenge that though? Like 1.7 billion in Nightmare, and again everybody else got nerfed. So when I was pulling off 500 million or whatever with my team, it is what it is. But they did say that they still wanted Trunda to be viable, and like this isn't 100 billion, right? And I get that was like the WMECO and all that, but they specifically said like way back when they said, well, we're not going to do anything, was it's such a hard team to build, like we're not going to do anything with it. I mean, I feel like 1.7 billion, and I know that's times 4 is at least reasonable. Is it? The top 10%
how
of all
about the
damage dealers? I
6.4
get
billion?
It is.
Okay, this is also Ziggy. This is the top, like one of the best accounts in the world.
But what I'm saying is
you're saying that's 24 billion points. Yeah.
Well, this is 24 billion points. Yes, and it's Ziggy, and it's a crazy account. But wasn't their response like, hey, we're trying to make it so more of the teams are a little more equal, like a little more leveled out, so it's not such big of a gap? Like, what other team do you guys know of right now that's going to be able to do this kind of damage?
Well, I will say I've never seen that combination of champs paired with.
Fina's ridiculous in Hydra, man. She's ridiculous.
This is the new WMECO.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But hey, they kept it free to play because they kept in Islan and Deliana. Those were fusions and free to play.
Deliana, I just hear what the hell?
+4.
They
Well, it's
kept
for
it free to play.
you need to have 4 of the high elves for the Fina buff, right?
Yeah. But it's crazy. It's crazy. PJ, where are you seeing any of this? Like, are people still using the same compositions as before, or are you seeing them test other things?
Yeah, so I'm in a pretty good Hydra clan. We're actually facing that team that you're showing right now in Hydra. So I think the top of the people, the Krakens, the people that really care about Hydra that have the insane teams are still gonna run Trunda, but she's way less than what she used to be. But I think now for like the average player that was like running her, it's gonna be better to probably not run her or do like a different team. So I think in that aspect it's probably more diverse. Probably like at the very tippy top, there's always gonna be like the top meta, the best of the best that people are gonna do. But I'm glad it's more in range. I feel like it's like everyone's got to be happy. Like if you wanted to use Trunda and liked Trunda teams and comps, she's still the best. If you wanted her to be nerfed and not as doing much damage, she isn't doing as much damage as she was before. It's a closer gap. So it's like
it's a closer gap to what team though? What's the next closest team that you're gonna see to that?
There's 1 billion teams.
Okay. Is it the double Teox team that Ken uses?
Not double Teox. I mean, I did 950 bad affinity with Ninja this rotation. I think I'd do 1 billion next rotation.
Ninja actually, I was on stream with Bronco yesterday, and Ninja was ridiculously hitting hard. I think it was like 4 million on the A2. So
yeah.
But again, I mean, these runs are all manual as well.
So we got like a team of 1.45 billion Teox, Krisk, Mikage, Toshiro, Firo, Yesenia. I mean, these are insane champions, but like there are teams that can hit like 1 billion, over 1 billion. It's really hard. It's like we got to adjust our ideas of like the Hydra scores, but I would say it's a better gap than what it was. I mean, they could maybe tweak it some more if they wanted, but I would say it's better than what it used to be.
Okay.
And I'll say, if someone's going to spend 3 hours to manual a Trunda team to min max it and get 6.5 billion, kudos to them, because I'm not taking that time to do it.
And
I'm just not.
And I also feel like the way that Hydra Clashes works with like the matchmaking is you're gonna matchmake in or out of these teams. Like if you're a clan that's gonna be running these teams, then you'll probably face other clans. If you're not, then you're not gonna be probably facing them in a few more weeks. So I feel like the people that are running her they'll kind of like get into groups.
Even out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point. Everyone just said the same thing in chat. Jay, what about you, man? Are you finding people using different teams or?
Yeah, well, players are going to have to now, because before, if they were using like lower end players, mid late game players, if they were using Trunda, it's not going to be useful as anymore. Or certain champions, you have to change your comps now slightly. Like I would say about 3 to 4 champs per team, maybe even changing up gear sets too, because you have to accommodate for when that happens, when you get the Serpent's Will, right? People are like, okay, what am I gonna do? If I was already like nuking them down and then resetting, nuking them down, like you can't really, because you can't do no damage. So most of the players have been trying to adjust, bringing in more like old school. Remember, we were using like husks and royal guards and enemy max. Not everybody has Marius, not everybody has Acrisias, or even multiple nuts. Like I have 3 newts, right? But most people only have 1.
Show
so
off.
It's
Don't do a doctor.
hey, maybe I'll get a 4th one soon. But like,
what would you do with the 4th G nut? What would you do with the 4th G nut?
Hey, winners
Continue.
win, baby.
Yeah, continue.
But but basically, yeah, like players, some people don't even have Mikage, so they can't even ally attack unless they have like Lonathar or things like that, like Grandpa. So players are having to come up with champions that they normally don't build, like certain epics or Legos, and it's good that they're rebalancing these champions so they can use them in Hydra now. But it's just like I said before, I don't want to go too much into it, but people are actually feeling like there's a wall now, like a hard wall. Before it felt like more like a brick you could punch through, but now it just feels like a wall you can't even break through, and players are getting kind of upset. So hopefully they do address it as soon as possible so people don't get too upset.
Okay. Gestal?
Yeah, I've kept my same teams. I haven't changed anything. The damage is significantly less, obviously. I'm on the same camp. I don't like to do any manual Hydra. I think it's tedious and boring, and I don't. The only time I'd be able to do that is when I'm streaming, and I don't feel like I don't know. I don't feel like they enjoy watching that either. So I just run my auto teams, and yeah, I'm not putting up. Really the biggest issue for me, and more so our clan, is that we were at this at this pretty high level because Trunda's putting up 100 billion or whatever, and now we're putting up like 20 billion as a clan. So like a lot of other clans have obviously had the same issues, but that's the most frustrating part. Just trying to get back to a normal level in terms of the MMR for Clash. But I haven't really been paying attention what people are running, to be honest. I guess I'm just waiting for things to kind of shift and just find like a better auto team to run.
Okay. Ken?
Sorry, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Are you
I was
finding...
reading the chat.
Yeah.
Why the AFN getting timeout? I was trying to find out that. Like, what
He said
What's a
nerf G-Nut,
nerf?
so I gave him a 10-second
Nerf.
timeout.
Team
Yeah.
diversity.
Yeah, champ diversity. Are you finding people are using different teams in Hydra Clash now?
I mean, maybe their team got too much affected, like the Trunda teams, but not really, like amazing account, like, because I believe only amazing account can use the Trunda teams right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe they are gonna find a different teams now. But on myself, like, I'm not really changing my teams. I'm hoping for Plarium gonna do some changes on the Hydra at the moment. I actually I forget to mention that I changed something on my team, on my hard difficulty, which is I wasn't running Reviver there, and I was like, I don't want to attack you because if I attack, you are gonna reborn and you are gonna do bad things to me. And I'm literally remove my Theox and they place a Reviver there, and I almost did the same damage I did last week with Reviver, no Theox. Like, yeah, I actually did some changes. I think on the lower difficulty, gonna be forcing people to some changes, especially if they are running a team like I do without Reviver to maximize our damage, because it's a hard difficulty, right? How hard it can be. But now they are gonna reborn, they are still gonna breed stuff like that. It scares us to use the deal damage on them actually. But hopefully Pilgrim gonna change that. They kinda mean that, right? And yeah, I'm hoping for that, because right now you wanna deal damage, but you don't wanna deal damage at the same time. It's so stupid. You are scared to do that.
True. Just because you deal damage and you're gonna get that Serpent's Will. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, another
Not Serpent Will, they're gonna reborn.
True.
Another thing with different team comps, quickly, sorry. I feel like a lot of people aren't happy with Hydra right now and aren't really like. I don't blame them, but they're like not giving it their all. They're not really trying different teams. They're not trying different stuff. So I feel like if people did what?
Let me ask you this, right? If you were able to before get that 1 key, start getting these chests and stuff like that, and all of a sudden you can't because of everything's changed. Decreased speed is not useful, right? You're getting Serpent's Will buff on all the enemies out there. You have to now to be able to do Hydra or to do the same damage or close to it before, you now have to manual it. You lost 30% of the damage because of how many turns were there.
Okay, wait.
Hold on, let me finish.
Yes.
Would you still have the motivation to do Hydra?
Okay, so you're talking about 1 keying like normal or like Nightmare Hydra chest.
Being able to get some damage in, you know? Like, they were able to get 70 million damage in prior to this. But now with what's currently going on, they can't even do that.
Okay, well, if you're getting 70 million, or if you're barely getting the Hydra chest, one, you want decreased speed. You need decreased speed. If you're not the only people that are not using decreased speed is if you're super endgame, late game, and you're killing the people really fast. Also, if they're going to turn count, they're not getting that low damage. So like, people that are barely getting the 1 key before, like, if they change them, like, it's the thing you just laid out is not realistic. Getting 70 million, but going to turn count, like, unless they were using a cheese comp. This is the new Hydra.
There's a lot. Well, maybe weren't, you know, they were getting to turn count because they were able to, or getting higher into turn count, I guess I could say, because when they were getting devoured, the HP pool that they needed to release wasn't as big as it was before. Now they're getting a lot more of those devours a lot faster because they can't.
They should still be able to 1 key.
It's tough. I will tell you, I've gotten onto a lot of people's accounts that their teams before were doing 300-400 million, and you expect, okay, you take a 50% cut, let's say, because of the 30% damage plus everything else that they did, and it's not a 50% cut, it's more to like 100.
Well, it's only a 50% cut if you're going to turn limit. I don't think they're going to turn limit if, like, the scenario you're talking about. And that seems like it's just a skill issue. That's why you got to redo your champs. This isn't the same exact Hydra as it was before. The mechanics are different. We got to adjust to the new mechanics. People are just running their same teams into this Hydra expecting the same results, and it's not the same mechanics, not the same Hydra. And people got to realize that and adjust their teams to it.
I agree with what you're saying, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make across is, you know, if you were able to do some of this stuff in the past, if you were able to, you know, get into those chests, and now, you know, you kind of look at it and see like, okay, I've lost 50% of this. I'm not able, or I'm barely doing this, or I was able to do it on auto before. Now I have to manual it. It can kind of seem like, well, what's the point of doing it? You know, it's demoralizing. Like, do I really want to even do it anymore?
It is, but this is the new Hydra. this is what we got.
That I get you, but I feel like maybe it was just a little too much at one time.
Maybe, yeah.
Goose.
Yeah, so I think y'all have said a combination of everything I thought. First of all, it's broken, right? They went, and we know that fixes are coming, right? So for me personally, I'm running my exact same teams and saying, can I still get what I got before in terms of, getting all the maximum chests? I can. I'm not going to worry about it. And again, I have the luxury of being late game and have spent enough to earn a Searsha 4-star soul, so I get it. I get it, right? There's a lot of people that are hurt, a lot more people that are hurting over this. I'll say and I said this before they even released the thing, is like, we got to give this time. Like, obviously they know they broke some stuff, they've got to fix it. It's kind of like when they released the HP thing, they completely backtracked it and gave it back to us. Like, we need to give it time, and I'll say it is completely different mechanics. So while I get the mindset of this is what I could do before and I can't do this now, but it's completely different mindsets, and people have not figured out the mechanics 100% yet. And why even take the time? Because I'm a min-maxer in life. I'm not going to waste my time and my resources and crap to build new teams when they're going to completely change when they go to fix these things. So I'm in a holding pattern. I think everybody should be in a holding pattern right now. If you want to experiment, but I think we still haven't determined if speed up and speed down is a good thing yet. We haven't determined,
it's not. It's not.
Well, I get that we think it's not, but like, people haven't. Have people done the 2 HP burns that I mentioned earlier today in the stream, right? Like, when the heads die, they lose the bus, but do you have another HP burner to put the bus back on to capitalize on the heads being dead? And then, bring in a Searsha to get it through the poison clouds, because now they can get the poison clouds out because of the Serpent's Will and stuff. So there's a lot more mechanics that people need to figure out. And honestly, there's no point in people figuring it out until they fix it, right?
Well,
or not fix it or make changes to.
They're going to change
mechanics.
it. They're going to change it every time we do something because they don't test.
I get that. I get that. But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, did they nerf Trunda? Yes. We aren't having 100 billion whatever teams. Trunda has been brought back in. All the clan, and then I'm looking at my clan hit now, and like right now we're at 14.74 billion as a clan. We've only run 37 keys. The next clan in second place is 13.54. So that is a much more competitive fight that we've got going on here. And they've only run 27 keys. So they got 10 more keys just to catch up to where we are. And they might jump us for first place. I'm more interested in the competitive mode of this. And again, they wouldn't even have to worry about this if they didn't introduce a competitive mode, right?
True.
So, I mean,
true.
Like, nobody cared. Everybody just ran their keys and got out, and it was a dead game mode. Nobody was caring about min-maxing this stuff to begin with. Now we are, because they added a competitive mode to it. So you want them to take their existing game modes and make them more interesting. They did that. Then they needed to do a balance change. So now they've done that, and they've completely, like, at least they're improving or trying to improve the game. And I get people are frustrated. I get that. I hear that, especially if you just got your first chest. I know you're gonna mute me, but I'm just saying, like, at least they're working on it. Like, how many games get released and they go, okay, cool, you've given us our money and we're done.
True.
Peace out. We're gonna go build the next thing.
True.
They're trying to incorporate, and I think it's a smart business model to take an existing mode and make it better. Like, is that what we're thinking for the end of the year? Is faction wars are going to get better? We're going to get a hard mode in faction wars, maybe a new champion.
They didn't say hard mode, but they said expand the faction war. I don't know what does that mean. Maybe release a new faction. I don't know.
I think maybe more difficulties with a better reward.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
I think, especially now because we have mythicals in the game, like, definitely.
Yeah, bro. Like, one champion is solo in like stage 21 now. Like,
yeah. Siegfried. So they did this. I don't know. They did it with the Kaja and Timid as well too, where if you got both of them, you're gonna get some of this extra stuff. Honestly, legendary skill tome, rank 5 chicken, 1 rank 5 chicken, 200 multiplatters, 1,000 energy and 1,000,000 silver. Not good enough for me to go for this. Maybe if it was like a soul, but is this gonna entice you to go for this, Ken?
Do we know how we're supposed to even get Gretel?
It's going to be a deck of fate.
Hansel.
Deck of fate.
Okay.
Deck of fate.
Who said
and-
Deck of Fate?
Deck of fate. Okay, and it's going to be through soul stones. Because you've been seeing a lot of packs coming through. Watch. Mark
Wait,
my words.
is that leak? Is that leak?
Mark my words. No, we don't give leaks here. You give the leaks.
I leaked something earlier today, man. I have to delete my message. Like,
Gestal, will this make you go for it?
I'm not even going for Gretel, so
yeah.
Okay, answered. Jay.
I do like both. I also like to test things out, right? But I just, when you look at the resources, like, bro, you can't even book one of them with these resources. At least not even half the champion. I think you should be able to choose, right? Like, why can't I choose one option? If I got a bonus of going both, and most of the time you might even have to spend, unless you were saving hardcore, right? Save Shadow Legends. If you're investing in putting all the time to get the fusion and get the Deck of Fate and putting all your resources, and you're probably going to lose a lot of, like 80% just to get both, get something back. Give back so let us do, like, book them, like use an item that lets you instantly book a champion, at least one, so you can at least enjoy the things you worked hard for. Because 1,000,000 silver is nothing, 1,000 energy is nothing, multi-battles you can get it for free, and like rank 5 change is like the only thing other than a book. I don't know. It's just weird. At least maybe give us a mythical tome, because that can be worked for anything. You could use it for epics, legendary champions, or mythical champions. Why just the legendary? I don't know. I think they need to up these rewards a little bit if you're gonna want people to actually go for both. You gotta make it a little bit more. This feels like 2022 resources. Like no one cares.
Sorry, Jay. I was just reading in content creator chat. Banana said you have 42 hours to remove yourself from chat. I guess they didn't like what you just said. PJ, what about you, man? Is this going to entice you to go for it?
I'm going for the fusion. Depending on the partner points and how that's looking, debating, but this is definitely not like good enough reward to be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going for the partner or going for them because of this. It's just like a little, I guess, cherry on top. I like you mentioned, it's a soul for one of them would have been cool, or what JR mentioned, being able to book fully one of them. Maybe they could like in the future add a new item where it's like a feast or like a barrel, but for legendary.
We don't need any more resources. We already have too much.
Instantly book a Lego. Instantly book someone like a super book or something.
That's not pay to win.
This game isn't pay to win. It's fine. But yeah, it's whatever. It's like if you get them both, thanks, but I wouldn't say it's something that like entices me to go for them.
Okay. Goose, what about yourself?
Yeah, y'all are funny. It would be cool to have a book all like the kind of like the feast and the barrel or whatever. That'd be cool. I do think.
Hold on. Let's logically think about this for a second, because a feast, what you can get the chickens usually is like they value them at like what, $10 a piece, right? A 5-star chicken. What would they value something that can book 12 legendary books? Each legendary book, I mean,
hey,
that would entice me to do these.
I'm looking at Book Pixel, which is like 19 books.
Yeah, right?
Wait,
that would entice me.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's a thought. And
hold on. Jay's got a thought.
They give us so many Go ahead, Jay. What you got?
So most of these champions that were together, like Kaja Timid or Bellinor and Zavia, why don't we just give us like a ring or an equipment that's unique to both. So like if you put one of each on each champion and have them in the team, it links together. So they could be unbooked champions, but when they're in the same team, they're actually booked together because they're using their pairing. That way you don't have to, market it and have to, buy this other item that fully books.
How much gear are you muling on your other champions, Jay? How much gear are you muling on your other champions? Because I know I have an issue.
A ring is just one little thing on each champion. It's not like we're not talking about gear. I'm just saying a ring, which is accessory. So.
Yeah, exactly. Pinpoint, Slayer, Zero. Go ahead.
No, I think that this is just nobody cares about the multi battles. Nobody cares about the energy. I mean, the energy's at least worth something. The silvers, blah. Skill tome, you get one, and ring 5 chicken, blah. It'd be nice if it was a little bit more, especially for getting both, considering how much you have to put in to get both. But what I will say is, don't worry, y'all. Y'all were talking about it'd be cool to get a soul. They're gonna have another event after this to go for their souls, so
Very true. Very true. Very true.
Thing.
Hey, Ken, you got that link to your video. Can you put that in the chat, please? So, guys, I don't know. Jay, are you doing it as well, too, for the Corrupted Alliance?
No, I skipped this one.
Gestal?
Yeah, I didn't do it.
No. Okay. So, if you're one of the ones that wants to get a unique avatar, Little Miss Annie one, unfortunately, it's not in here because I don't see it. But
no, it's not in the game.
Yeah, it's not in the game, but we are doing a giveaway, I guess, both on my channel and Ken's channel. How long do they have for the video or the screenshots? Are you doing videos or screenshots on yours, Ken?
Video. They asked the video showcase.
They said video / screenshot.
How we are gonna prove the video screenshot though?
I don't know. It just when I looked at it for the submissions, it said video / screenshot.
Video probably gonna be safer. I recommend people the video.
But if you record 3 fights, I think.
3 fights. With the show your UED code. You need to show that. They said that.
So if you show 3 fights, you can get yourself. I think we're giving away 9 each.
9.
I don't know about you. I have gotten 1 in so far. So if you are interested in getting it, do just the Corrupted Alliance, right? So basically,
Live Arena.
3 live arena fights with just the Corrupted Alliance. So you got to use Demon Spawn, Undead, Dark Elves, Night Revenant. The elo doesn't matter, but if we get more than 9 in, then that's where it comes into play. I think.
I got nobody so far, by the way. So even you lose, you can win that.
Yeah. So whatever elo you're in, I've got 1 on my end. Ken's got nobody on his. So get yourself some free avatars, and then both of our videos are actually doing giveaways on those as well too. So I'm gonna link mine right here, and I'm gonna put Ken's in as well. So make sure you guys go.
So you do arena fights as Corrupted Alliance and send it to one of y'all.
Live Arena.
Live Arena.
Oh, Live Arena.
Yep.
So you guys
you know what? I can do it. I'm gonna go.
Get an avatar.
Yeah, you get a Little Miss Annie avatar, and I don't even think the content creators
exclusive avatar, by the way. So
yes,
Little Miss Annie Elf.
But I don't even think the content creators are getting her. But I think the last one they did, the content creators got it. But if you are interested, make sure you go. If you enter both on mine and Ken's, and you happen to win one of the other, please let us know. That way we can give it to the next person. Try to spread those out. We have to be careful because we can't just give them out to anybody because they are.
Did you say screenshots?
So Ken says it's supposed to be a video of the fights submitted. I could have sworn I thought it said screenshot.
I mean, on the screenshot, bro, like they cannot prove it is their account. Like, how you are gonna do that?
Yeah, I'm looking right now at the challenge. Whoa. Too fast. I'll take another look at it, but I'm pretty sure it said both screenshot or video, because they can't leave the video on the YouTube video. They can't leave a link to it, but they can leave to a screenshot. Let me see here. Submissions. Evaluate your entire 9. Better with the highest groups.
I want it. I
Um,
use Annie Elf and Hefrak together. That's actually a fantastic combination.
let's see. It doesn't tell me.
Queen, let's go.
Yeah, it's not as easy as you might think. Especially
Queen,
if you're in higher
Annie
tiers.
Elf and Hefrak. Oh, I'm in higher tiers. I don't. Do you have to win them? I'm gonna get
Okay,
my ass kicked.
so
I
well,
got a 1
you-
win only.
I got 3 wins out of 5. But we are going to be giving away some other stuff on those videos too, so make sure you guys go check those out.
Yeah.
So I actually looking at this, it does say that it needs to be a video. So Ken is right. I'm not sure where I saw the screenshot part, but it does say it needs to be a video.
Just record with your phone or stuff like that, because
Yeah.
it's not that hard. Like,
Streamer of the year for a reason.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
He
it.
pays better attention than I do. That said, I do wish luck to everybody out there. Make sure you guys go and just get some free stuff. Get some free stuff. It's definitely worth it. Have some fun. Hey Zero, where can everybody come and find you?
Come find me on the Twitches every Sunday, Tuesday, and Friday. Although I will not be streaming this Tuesday. Here in the States, it's election day, but my wife is actually going in to get a major surgery, so I will be tending to her needs this week. If I get a chance to slot it in, if you're in my Discord, I'll make an announcement if I can get it on Wednesday or Monday or Friday, or excuse me, Thursday. But yeah, come hang out, and look forward to having you.
All right. PJ, what about you?
MXPJE on Twitch. Actually just did a YouTube video the other day. Maybe I have a few other ideas for some other YouTube videos, so maybe I'll do some more. But definitely Twitch, pretty much every single weekday, 2 times a day as much as possible. Come say what's up. We play Raid, other games as well. It's a great time. If you want to be there.
All right. Jay, how about yourself, brother?
You can find me both on YouTube and on Twitch at JRStar3.
All right. Gestal.
Gestal Gaming on Twitch and YouTube's, and Gestal.gg's the website.
Okay. Ken.
FinalKenpachi, both YouTube and the Twitch with the same name. Going live every single day, guys, on the Columbus Reset on the Twitch, except Sunday. Sunday, I'm exclusive here.
All right. And Ken, you got a shout out for me?
I like to shout out actually Zero Brew. What? Yes, he hung out my chat a lot this week. We got lots of talk, man. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, I don't know I will behave your energy on your age. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know if you dancing like that. I mean, that's what my chat tell me every single day. I'm old. Like, I don't know what is old now, but yeah, guys, Zero is amazing and he's so entertaining, and make sure to follow him, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks, sir.
Gestal, what about you?
Shout out my man Just Nils TV, JUSTNILS TV. Been streaming a ton lately. Streams a ton of Raid Shadow Legends, so go over there, check them out.
Awesome. Jay.
I want to shout out 2 people. They've been keeping it together after all this Hydra stuff, and they're like literally on the edge, but they stay because of me. So shout out to Crossout and I Crushed It for keeping it there, mentally.
Awesome. PJ.
We're shouting out Bick. He's actually in the chat right now. He's streaming Raid. Really good dude. Awesome account. Check him out and follow, and support the Raid community.
All right. And Zero.
Yep. Shout out to DK Tanjiro. He just started streaming as well. He's in chat. Yeah. Give him a follow. He just started streaming the content. Give him some love. Yep.
Nice.
And then of course we got to give Airfern some love. He was here last week. Give Airfern some love. too.
I don't know, man. He wants to nerf G-Nut. Ugh. I don't know. He wants to leave our mons alone, which I respect, but nerfing G-Nut, I think that's just too far. My shout out's actually gonna go to a YouTuber called Father Starsage. He's been doing a lot of videos lately about Live Arena and stuff like that. has an interesting perspective. He's just like Gestal, top 100. And, you know, I've been enjoying his videos have been very educating on what I should be doing with some of these champions builds. So big shout out to him. Make sure you guys go give him a follow there. Now, that said, we've got next week for the podcast, and I believe the Sunday before Thanksgiving in the US, I will not be around, so we won't have the podcast then. I will unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I will be at Universal Studios for vacation with my kids. So just a thought, we will have the next 2 weeks. If you guys have any particular content creators out there that would like to join us, or you know, have a good point of view, we would definitely love to have them all on here. On I guess we're not streaming to YouTube, so I don't have to worry about the YouTube side, but Twitch, we are going to go raid. Let's go to Mr. Basar. We'll raid him. He's Bashar. He's doing some live arena right now. Dyslexia, bro. Dyslexia. Guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. Loved you guys all hanging out. Thank you for dealing with our, you know, my incompetence. We'll go with. I was very unprepared for the show today. I blame it on daylight savings time, but I will do better next week. We'll make sure we have all that done, and we've got some big things coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're closing in on our 2-year anniversary of the podcast, which is going to be big. As always, guys, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. We'll catch you guys next time.